When did this start ramping up?
Okay, so, I mean, this has been going on a long time, as Charlotte will tell you. This has been going on a long time, but the implementation of the database was actually Lamar Alexander, whenever he was governor of Tennessee in 1989, in the nation's report card, they commissioned all these people to create this database. It had to be a micro record. It had to have cross-reference capability. It had to be standardized in every state. That's what Common Core did. Common Core standardized the standards, and every state that accepted it, 45 states so far, have standardized their standards that mandate to the individual child. So then they had to create a database, right, that monitors every individual child. Those were the grants I talked about, where the National Center of Education Statistics used that $4.35 billion from the Recovery Act and gave all this money to each of the states to create a database, to create a unique national ID to monitor everyone in the United States. It was through education that they did that. That's why all that money was funneled out of the Recovery Act given to Obama to create this database. So you had the Common Core that standardized all the data elements, and then you had the database that created the unique ID to monitor everyone. And then the next step was they waived all the federal guidelines so that they could, one, collect the data, number two, train the teachers, and number three, go into the mental health or personality standards and incorporate those into the reading and math.
All right,
Common Core.
All right, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let's just. I don't want you to lose your place. I just want you to just pick up. But I mean, I don't want to leave any. I don't want to leave any precious metal on the table here. Okay. Seriously. Now, let's say it's always Johnny. And just for the record, I thought No Child Left Behind meant that's why we need to get another Bush in the White House. Get it?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. We're on our way to school, and Jackie and Susie, they're not doing very well. I mean. This sounds like, well, Jackie and Susie have been found to be very unmutual in their classroom setting. And therefore, we have determined, according to the standards set by the federal government, our illustrious leader, Obama, which, by the way, I've got an acronym for him now. It's PUTO. PUTO. That's President Under Title Only. Okay? So there you go. PUTO.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, he'll figure it out. If he speaks any Spanish, he probably does. But anyway, now, what I'm getting at is, do we then medicate the children to adjust their attitudes? Is that where we're headed here? I mean, what happens to the children who do not come up to standard?
They don't move on.
Well, what does that mean, though? Okay,
that means that, I mean, I haven't read anywhere where they actually are giving children medication yet because they haven't met a mental health criteria. What they're doing is complete behavior modification, okay? Complete behavior modification starting actually at birth. Okay, so they are creating these different techniques. The teachers are calling it fidelity. They have to teach it exactly like the scientific research had stated it should be taught. So it's total behavior mod, and it works. It's total brainwashing.
Go with me into sci-fi world for just a minute.
Okay.
Is there any, let's say that you are a science fiction writer and you're going to write a story about the future and this futuristic civilization. If you roll everything into this, Anita, now this may not be your thing, but just indulge me for a minute. If the idea is, well, you know, there are advanced civilizations out there and we as human beings down here on planet Earth, we Earthlings are not behaving in any way that will keep us out of the Stone Age environment, really, that we find ourselves in. We must find a way to bring our citizenry of this planet, beginning with the United States, because it's the big dog on the planet, we have to bring them in line so that we can go boldly and well-equipped into the future. So my question is, can you conceive of any benefit, I hate that overarching, that's just a disgusting expression. I don't like it. It reminds me of junk food land. Can you envisage any positive outcome from this? Any positive outcome from this? Is it to bring the disenfranchised, the black kids that are in bad neighborhoods, you know, and there's a bunch of white ones in bad neighborhoods too. I mean, is this to bring them up, or is it to bring everybody down? I mean, can you imagine any positive side to this agenda?
Well, we can prove that they've used the minorities for their research.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Okay. So, I mean, there's no doubt about that. They are saying it's equity, okay, equity across the board.
Yes.
So what that means is everyone has to be equal, right? The only way you make everyone equal, okay, think about that, equal in IQ, equal in wealth, equal in what you own. Everything must be equal, okay?
Except for the ones who run it, of course.
Of course, you have the elite up there.
Oh, gotcha.
So in order to create equity, you have to lower the standard. I see the future as an anthill. That's what it is.
Okay. All right.
It's the docile worker of tomorrow.
But
okay.
But Anita, what work are they going to be doing? We don't produce very much here anymore. We're a consumer-based economy. I mean, what work are they planning for these people? Build some more pyramids by hand, or what?
If we have to compete with China, it's going to be slave labor. I mean, really, when you think about it, I mean, what's this big thing? Oh, China's so wonderful, but they're not talking about the slave labor that is happening in China, okay? When they can make things for pennies, okay? And these poor people who are in slave labor, I mean, so what does that mean for us? If you are lowering the literacy level and you're controlling all of the, I call them the mental health, if you're controlling all the attitudes and values, you will accept this. You will accept moving into this. So this is what the brainwashing is all about. It's the equity agenda. Okay, but to create this equity agenda, you've got to get rid of representative government. You've got to get rid of thinking individuals. You've got to get rid of that. You've got to get rid of the control. The control is the money, which is your legislature, so we're going to bypass them, okay? What about the parents? We're going to bypass the parents because we changed the definition of who a parent is. It's any adult who cares for your child. So you don't have the ultimate authority anymore. So everywhere where you have a right must be demolished, must be destroyed, okay? You have wealth. Well, we're going to destroy that too because we're going to destroy the wealth of your property. Why? Because property taxes are directly related to education.
Yes.
It's your elected school boards. We're going to try to get rid of that elected school board by move with the choice agenda, okay? Let's talk about that Common Core Title I blanket, okay? So in both of those bills I was talking about, this is what they're talking about. Title I follows the child. Think about that. Title I money, okay, given to an individual child, and they can go to any school that they want. Public, charter, private, Catholic, Christian. Okay. What's going to happen to your public school if they allow this legislation to pass? Title I, they're calling it Title I portability. Title I follows the child. Number one, it bypasses state government. Totally, that money goes from the feds right into your backpack of your child. Now your child is going to go to, wherever they want to go. That's your choice. But what happens to the public school? 50% matching fund with that stipend or scholarship from Title I, okay? Your public school will be destroyed. No longer a public school. And the legislation sets up charter schools, okay? So you're going to have all of these children exodus out of public school, right? Because they want, I want to go to this Christian school. I want to go to this Catholic school, right?
How about homeschool?
Well, they can use, homeschoolers can use the money to buy software, okay? Common Core software, of course, right? So basically what's happening is you're going to have this exodus, demise of your public school. What happens to your elected school board if you no longer have a public school?
I don't know.
They're gone.
Well, yeah, but then what?
They're dismissed. There's no public school anymore. So they're the elected people who are looking over your taxes. They're gone. Your public school fails. All the children are now into where? Charter schools with unelected boards and private schools.
Oh, and you told me this.
What happens to that private school?
Yeah.
That's a Title I kid, right?
Yes.
Common Core goes right with it.
Okay. And one more time. You explained this to me before, but I've slept since then. So just remind me, a charter school means, one more time, what?
A charter school is authorized by some outside authorizer saying that it's doing what it's supposed to do. But a charter school is a public school without an elected board.
Oh, gotcha. All right. That's right.
And it's usually run for profit.
Understood.
Okay. So a charter school can use your public funds, but you have no say over the curriculum, over what's being done.
Because it's all federally mandated.
Absolutely. It's Common Core.
Gotcha.
So this is how they will totally do. Okay, so let's go back to what happens when you no longer have a school board and you're still collecting taxes for what? Your public schools, right?
Yes, but there aren't any.
Yeah. Okay, so now there aren't any. So where are your taxes going to go?
To the federal government, of course.
Well, probably not that high up.
Okay.
But it's probably going to go to a regional industry investment board, either regional in your county, or it's going to go to the state. They put forward a bill in Pennsylvania that your taxes would go to the state. You know, the further away from your local district or where you live. And the other thing you have to think about too about this, about your property, what's going to happen to the value of your property? I think it's going to go sky high.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, so they can suck more money out of it.
So that you can't afford the taxes. What happens when you transfer, if you sell, if you buy? Taxes are going to be so high on property, people will not be able to afford it. Okay. What about inheritance? What happens when you inherit a piece of property? Same thing. You have so many taxes, so high. This will eliminate actually eventually ownership of property also. So it's just another way to remove your voice from the local level. This is exact. And now let's go back to these bills. There is pages, 60 pages in the bill about setting up and expanding charter schools. It's a setup. It's a total setup.
Why is no one pushing back against this? Surely we're not the only ones that know about this.
No one knows about it. These two bills, both in the Senate and the House, the kissing cousin, that's what they say. The kissing cousin bills that are alike are being pushed through so fast that no one's even reading them. I think there are only a couple people that have read the whole bills.